Guns, carjackings, 13-year-olds, recipe for tragedy.
What's going on, America? I'm the Right Winged Angel out of Mac, and in this video, we're going to talk about this 13-year-old who was shot and killed by a federal security officer after he tried to carjack him. Yes, a 13-year-old out there trying to carjack people in Washington, D.C. Let's check this out.
News 4 is uncovering new details tonight about the middle school student, just 13 years old, shot and killed this weekend while trying to carjack an off-duty federal security officer. Today, the child's middle school principal described Vernard Toney as smart, funny, and talented. But we also learned he was
also a thug.
No stranger to police. This Saturday was not the first time he was accused of stealing cars. News 4's Darcy Spencer has the new developments.
It was here on D Street Northwest, outside an office building, that 13-year-old Vernard Toney Jr. was shot and killed when he allegedly tried to carjack an off-duty federal security officer. It was around 10 Saturday night. Police say the officer was sitting in his car waiting for a shift to start when two juveniles told him to get out. According to the report, one of the teens had his hand in his front waistband pocket as if he had a handgun. And as he was complying, the officer pulled a gun and shot Toney in the chest.
They better not come and try to charge this officer with murder or manslaughter or anything like that. It was justified. There's no doubt it was justified. You got people out there carjacking. Somebody carjacks you, tells you to get out of your car. You don't know if they have a gun. Doesn't matter how old they are. It could be 12, 13, could be 10, 9, 8. Doesn't matter. They got 8-year-olds walking around with guns, I'm sure. They get them from their parents. They get them, they're part of gangs, whatever. So you just never know what's going to happen in these situations. So you got to do what you got to do. It's unfortunate that this kid had to lose his life, but play stupid games, win stupid prizes. The stupid prize machine has no age restriction.
A second juvenile ran away. The off-duty officer's gun was the only one recovered from the scene.
Guns, carjackings, 13-year-olds, recipe for tragedy.
Two sources familiar with the...
Why she mentioned the guns? The guns save lives. It wasn't the guns. It was the 13-year-old and the carjackings that are a recipe for disaster. Had this 13-year-old not carjacked somebody or attempted to carjack somebody, then this 13-year-old would be alive today. So it was not the gun.
Investigation confirmed that Toney was arrested last May for a carjacking and robbery spree. This map shows the area where he allegedly committed 9 crimes in a 6-week period. News 4 reported he was 12 years old at the time. It's unclear what happened with
12 years old and you commit 9 carjackings. What is really going on with this little boy? What is going on with this little boy's family? Where is his mom? Where is his father? That's the number one question. Whenever you see situations like this where you got a little kid out there committing crimes, where's his dad? Especially if it's a boy. Where is the father? Why is he not stepping in and showing this? Actually, let me not say that. His father, let me keep it real. Let me keep it 100% real. His father's probably in jail or not in his life. I think that's the two options we have here. He's in jail or not in his life, because he must have learned this behavior from somebody. I don't think he learned it from his mother, because women typically don't go out there and carjack people. So I would say that his father's probably a criminal and he's just acting out what his father has done, and his mother did nothing to stop the dangerous path that he was on.
Those cases and why Toney was back on the street. In a one-on-one interview, Chief Pamela Smith told News 4 she wanted to be sensitive to the teen's parents and classmates.
He was known to the Metropolitan Police Department, and it's just unfortunate that this particular incident happened on Saturday night.
Toney was a 7th grader at Kelly Miller Middle School in Northeast D.C. We could see police presence at the school today. Counseling services were also being offered to students. The school principal sent a letter to parents saying Toney was a smart and talented student. He had a natural comedic ability and loved to make people laugh, especially when he would joke that he was the principal of Kelly Miller Middle. Vernard also loved to play basketball and spend his free time on the court with his friends. DC's crime crisis was the
They didn't say nothing about him being a good student, though. Seemed like he was more of a class clown. Seemed like he was out just looking for attention and just wanted to make people laugh, which is nothing wrong with making people laugh, but you got to be a good student as well. And it's really, really unfortunate that we see stories like this. And we hope that when we see these kids going down this path, we hope and pray that we could turn them around. Excuse me. We hope and pray that we can turn them around so something like this doesn't end up happening to them, so they don't end up dead or in jail. But unfortunately, sometimes we can't save them. Sometimes we cannot reach them in time, and they do something that ends up costing them their lives.
Of a council committee meeting earlier in the day. Leaders, community members, and victim families discussing violence reduction programs.
Everywhere I go, I hear people say that crime is the worst that they have seen, and it is driving our long-term residents out of the city.
According to...
Well, guess what? You could try all the crime reduction initiatives you want, but as long as your city is run by Democrats, you will continue to have crime, because Democrat-run cities focus more on equity, which is a BS term, diversity, inclusion, stopping racism and white supremacy, more than they worry about keeping their citizens safe. They do not care about keeping their citizens safe. The most that you see them do is when something actually happens to one of their politicians, then they'll step up and say, hey, we got to do something about this. But they're not really going to do anything about this. They don't really care as much as they need to about these situations, about keeping citizens safe, about ending the carjackings, or at least reducing the carjackings, reducing the murders. It's not important to them. They care about what makes them look good to their far left constituents. Okay, not even the moderate constituents, not even the regular liberal constituents. They want to look good to their far left constituents who believe that everything is racism, everything is white supremacy. Whenever you're trying to prosecute criminals, if those criminals happen to be black, it's not that the criminals made a decision to go out there and commit crime. No, it's because they were affected by racism and white supremacy, so you must go easy on them. You must treat them with kid gloves and not prosecute them to the fullest extent of the law, which they absolutely deserve. You must let them go and let them out. This 13-year-old boy should not have been out on the street if he had committed 9 carjackings, okay? He deserved to be sitting in somebody's juvenile detention facility until he got his mind right. But I strongly believe that because he was black, he was out on the street. Sad.
DC crime stats, there have been 827 carjackings in the district so far this year. 74% of them involve guns, and most of those arrested are under 18.
And it's not all of our juveniles on it. We believe that there's a small number of juveniles. I believe, and I want to believe, and I'll go publicly and say the majority of our young people here in the District of Columbia are amazing young people.
Police tell us that off-duty security officer has cooperated in the investigation. At this point, no charges have been filed.
There should be any. I don't even, why do you have to even say that? There should not be any charges filed against that security officer. He did what he needed to do. They just said 74% of those carjackings involve guns. So that security officer knows what everybody in this situation knows, that you are more likely to be carjacked with someone with a gun than without a gun, okay? So if you see somebody reaching for something, reaching in their waistband, then they may pull out a gun. And guess what you have to do? You have to act first before you get burnt. And that is what it is. I kind of feel, let me keep it real. I kind of feel bad for the family, even though I believe that the family caused this to happen. But they did lose their child, a 13-year-old, a little boy, man. You know, my son is 8 years old. He's 5 years away from being 13. And actually, the little guy started committing. I say the little guy. The little dude started committing crimes at 12. My son is 4 years away from being 12. I can't imagine my son, my sweet little innocent son, 4 years from now, going out and robbing people, committing crimes. Like that is crazy to even think about. But there are kids all over this country that are doing just that are turning into little criminals, and somebody needs to get to them before something tragic like this happens. I don't want to see anybody's child lose their life. I really don't, because it's a tragedy whenever it happens. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. All right, I'll catch you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.